Let's say I had two buttons, and pressing this button would make us go back to Fortnite Chapter 1. There's 10 sections that I'll base my decision on, and in the end, I'll let you know which option I'd go with. The first section is obviously the OG map. Bringing this back would bring back so many memories for a lot of players, and with locations like Dusty Depot, OG Tilted, Retail Row, Loot Lake, and even Pleasant Park, the vibes would be immaculate. So, in my opinion, that's one point towards bringing the old map back. Next up, we have cosmetics. When people think of OG Fortnite, they think of Black Knights and defaults running around. Nowadays, we would instead see Master Chief running around together with Spider-Man, and that would definitely feel strange, so for me, that's a negative. The next section is graphics. The OG map had extremely good graphics, the colors were so clear, vibrant and beautiful. Even the storm clouds looked a lot better in my opinion. Nowadays, the graphics are more realistic with less vibrant colors, and I think people would love if Epic went back to their roots and brought back these cartoony, vibrant and kind of dreamy graphics. That's another point for bringing it back. And then of course you have Zero Build. Would the OG map work in Zero Build? Evidently there was a lot of big mountains that would be difficult to get up to, and there might not be enough cover on the map that is ideal for Zero Build. But thing is, I think the same thing goes for our current map. There's a lot of mountains and I don't think the terrain is very Zero Build optimized, and still I think Zero Build plays out just fine. But yeah, it wouldn't be hard to just add a couple of stones and trees here and there to make it more Zero Build friendly, but assuming Epic Games doesn't optimize the map, I'll be fair and call this a slight negative. The next section is about the art style. Chapter 1's art style was different, and what I mean by that is that the textures were less realistic and more cartoony, and for me that fits the game in a better way. And of course, while some may prefer the realistic look, I like to think that the majority prefer the OG art style. Next up is player base. So how would this affect the player base? Well, a lot of players that have quit would instantly come back. Creators like Tfue Ninja and Sypher would probably average about 500,000 views every stream. So basically it's a win-win situation for everyone. Obviously this one is a clear positive. And then there is the closed term aspect. Would this be a good decision for Epic in the short run? And for me, it's an obvious one. Going back to the OG map would generate so much hype, and it would easily be the most viral and hyped up gaming announcement in history. So for closed term, it's a clear-cut point for the OG map. Next up we have weapons. OG guns like the pump shotgun were very OP back in the day. So sure, if Epic were to bring back the pump, like it was in, for example, Season 3, it could be a rather big issue. However, I'm certain that if they brought back all of the OG items, they would not revert all of the changes that they've made throughout the years. So, for example, the blue pump would not be hitting for 250, it would instead be hitting for whatever it hits for nowadays. Therefore, this simply isn't an issue. And then you have building. Back in early Chapter 1, turbo building wasn't as good, and a lot of players would understandably be getting frustrated about not being able to crank 90s as they usually do. But as I previously said, bringing back the OG map doesn't revert all of the quality of life changes that we've gotten. So building would still be in its current state, but on the OG map. That's 7-2 towards bringing it back. And then of course, how would this change be long term? After a while, playing on the old map would get boring, as would playing on any map for a long time without any map changes. But if Epic brings back the old map, they're obviously not just gonna stop updating their game. Map changes would roll on as per usual, and no one would get bored. Either they could update the map exactly how they did back in Chapter 1 and eventually bring in Dusty Divot and the desert biome, or they could try a new route and update the game with a brand new storyline. Either way, that's an 8-2 win towards bringing the old map back.